In this digital age, when pictures and stories can be shared with the tap of a finger, what is thought extreme can change. If we see the same amazing thing over and over again on our social media feeds, it stops being so amazing. Unveiling the harrowing ascent of the Bikini Climber. GiGi Wu shows how social media can change how people think about danger, making the most dangerous things seem almost normal. Imagine the beautiful island of Taiwan, which is as interesting as it is varied. Taiwan is not just a group of industrial cities, which is a popular misconception. This island is surrounded by water on all sides and has rough, heavily wooded mountains that make it a great place for walkers and climbers. Enter the exciting story of GiGi Wu, a brave explorer whose love of climbing mountains led her on a dangerous quest in the heart of Taiwan. GiGi wanted to climb the 100 peaks of Taiwan, which are a group of well-known mountains that rise over 10,000 feet above sea level. In 2014, GiGi was climbing up Jade Mountain, which has the highest top in Northeast Asia. There, she met Alex Yang, who was also climbing. They became very close because they both loved climbing mountains and taking pictures. As they stood on the top of the mountain, GiGi took off her climbing gear to show her swimsuit. This was the start of a daring picture shoot that has become a special tradition. GiGi's decision to try to climb the 100 peaks came from a promise she made to a friend. This promise, to pose in a swimsuit on top of her next peak, started out as a simple task. But over time, it became a powerful sign of her courage and beauty. Her trip was full of colorful swimsuits, beautiful scenery, and a growing online following who found comfort in her posts. She combined beautiful pictures with interesting facts about the trails in her photos, making a patchwork that showed both her beauty and her desire to protect the mountains. In 2016, GiGi reached her goal of climbing all 100 peaks. GiGi's trip had its ups and downs, from tense conversations with friends about which trail to take to daring solo trips into the unknown. Her intense interest led her to explore places she had never been to before. Eventually, she decided to climb to the top of all 268 mountains in Taiwan that were higher than 3,000 meters. But tragedy was waiting for GiGi in the middle of her bold plans. GiGi's life changed forever on January 11, 2019, when she started a 2-week hike through Yusha National Park. A trip she took by herself to see how far she could go finished with her calling her friend Alex Yang for help. On the first day of this part of her trip, she went down the about 10,000-foot-high northwest face of Jupin Mountain. The weather was getting worse as rain and fog moved in. Wu sent a friend a message around noon to let them know how she was doing and that she planned to move down to a lower level to set up camp. But the weather got worse, and the rain got heavier. Amidst this challenging landscape, disaster struck. GiGi lost her balance for a second or slipped on a particularly slippery spot, and all of a sudden she couldn't keep her balance. She fell down the slippery slope because the ground beneath her gave way. As GiGi fell down the steep slope, time seemed to drag on. She may have tried to grab onto anything to slow her fall, but the trees and plants didn't help, and she fell. Even though Wu fell, her resolve remained strong. She used her satellite phone to call her friend Alex Yang, who she often went climbing with when she was in trouble. She told him about how she had fallen and hurt herself. The conversation was short and was broken up by static, but it made it clear how important her position was. Wu's speech cut in and out because of problems with the connection, but she was still able to say that she could not move her legs and needed help. Yang was very worried, so he told officials and search and rescue teams about Wu's call for help. But because the weather was getting worse, the searchers could not get to her right away. Wu spent the night alone in the woods and had to deal with the cold and rain even though she was hurt. Once strong and flexible, her body was now broken and beaten up. She was stuck, alone, and far from anyone who could help. As the temperature dropped and night fell, her chances of living became less likely. The next day, search and rescue teams found where she was. They found her lying on a narrow platform sticking out from a rock, hundreds of feet above a river. She was dressed for hiking, but it looked like she was not ready for the cold. Her bag was next to her. Even though search and rescue teams worked hard, GiGi Wu did not make it through the night. Her fall and the injuries she got from it, along with the cold and wet weather, led to her death and left a shock in many people's hearts. The story of GiGi Wu shows that as beautiful as the mountains are, they can be dangerous if you do not treat them with respect. Every walk, climb, and time spent in nature is an opportunity to learn, respect, and be amazed by the world's wonders.